Welcome back to Film Snob HQ. The road to Avengers Doomsday continues, and this week we are talking about She-Hulk Attorney at Law, a TV show that was incredibly divisive at its time, but I enjoyed it the first time I watched it, and I'll be honest, on the rewatch, I liked it even more. It's a legal sitcom following Jennifer Walters, the cousin of Bruce Banner. The show opens with them going on a road trip together. However, a car accident causes him to bleed out. His blood gets into one of her wounds, and she gets his DNA, the gamma-infected blood of Bruce Banner, and becomes the She-Hulk. There are some big differences between Hulk and She-Hulk in this version. Unlike Hulk, she can change at will and isn't prone to changing due to anger. She only has one conscience, so she doesn't have a Hulk that she's fighting with. When she grows and becomes green and strong, she's still Jennifer inside. So it's the exact same person, just with all the power of the Hulk. No real downside. It's shot as a legal procedural, as I mentioned, and also as a bit of a sitcom. I wouldn't call it a sitcom per se. It does have jokes, it does have laughs and stuff like that, but it doesn't feel like it's designed, to me, to be laugh out loud every moment. It's not joke a minute. What it is more is a more lighthearted legal procedural, I would say. So Jennifer Walters ends up losing her job because she hulks out in a court case when Titania kind of crashes the room. But she's quickly hired by another firm who wants to open up a superhero legal division, which is important because that happens in the comics. And if you follow the Devil's Reign comic book storyline from Daredevil ends up representing costume vigilantes and protects their identities, so he can put, say, Spider-Man on trial, but not Peter Parker, protecting his identity. So I think it's really important they set that up. They also mentioned in this TV show that the Sokovia Accords have been since repealed, so they're no longer in effect. And this is very much kind of a character of the week type show. So every week, Jennifer Walters kind of interacts with a different member of the Marvel Universe who's maybe not such a major character, like Leapfrog. Titania, as I mentioned before, comes up a couple of times. Wong returns. Abomination is going through kind of a... He's trying to appeal his sentence. He's now kind of reformed. He wants to get out of prison and just be Emil Blonsky again. I know a lot of people had issues with this show because it was very light, because it was very silly. I think it's not a bad thing to have this, and I do think the show works a lot better if you binge it. I think week to week it's hard to maintain that energy because the stakes aren't as high. It's not as serious. It's not really leading towards anything. It's very much a self-contained story that kind of just brings other characters in. So by binging it, I found it way more enjoyable because I kind of keep track of the storyline. It's very much a feminist piece. It's very much talking about kind of the double standards between women in the workplace and men in the workplace, and even what it means to be a woman Hulk versus a man Hulk. So there's some really interesting stuff in there as well. Tatiana Maslany is really wonderful. The entire supporting cast is really fun. And for me, I'm thrilled because Daredevil shows up. We get Daredevil in the red and yellow costume, his original costume from the comic books. And we get a version of Matt Murdock and Daredevil who's a little bit lighter. Don't get me wrong, I love my dark and gritty Daredevil, but it's nice to see him have fun. It's nice to see him crack a few jokes. It's nice to see him not be like dealing with the, kind of the terror of the Kingpin constantly. And they get to explore their romance as well. I remember when that episode aired and it turned out that She-Hulk spent the night with Daredevil, my wife looked at me and she goes, "You okay with this?" And I was like, that is my boy. That is Matt Murdock. He is maybe the most womanizing character in the MCU, except for Tony Stark and Johnny Storm. But he hooks up a lot. And so that kind of attracted the character as well. I think people have been really unfairly critical of the show. There are some definitely moments where the CGI does falter. For me, the design of She-Hulk is really cool, but I feel like she looks too smooth. I feel like there should be a bit more texture and grain in say her skin. Like when you look at her face, it's very smooth. It doesn't have as much detail as, say, Bruce Banner's. But these are little nitpicks. It's a really fun show, and we're about to get into some really heavy trauma-filled movies coming up next. We've got Thunderbolts coming up. We've got Daredevil coming up. We've got a ton of darker movies on the horizon and TV shows, so it's nice to have something a little bit lighter. Definitely give She-Hulk a go. It's 9 episodes, but they're all short. They're all like 25 minutes. And if you binge it, I find it to be a lot more effective. Episode 9, I know a lot of people have issues with because it breaks the fourth wall. People also accuse it of copying Deadpool. She-Hulk was created before Deadpool. She-Hulk's been breaking the fourth wall since the 70s. That's just the case. She just didn't get to the film world before Deadpool. That's the only difference. I know there's some weird stuff in the ninth episode. I like it. I think it's, it's fun. It's different. Yeah. In terms of returning characters, in terms of the main cast, I don't know that anyone's coming back. Tatiana Maslany has kind of come out and said that she doesn't want to work with Disney anymore. I believe that was following the firing of Jimmy Kimmel and a bunch of other stuff. Disney obviously have been in the news for negative reasons quite a lot recently. She's kind of said she's done with them, so it seems unlikely that this version of She-Hulk will return. I do hope we get the character back. She's a fun character. It's always good to have more Hulks. We're going to get to a Red Hulk soon as well, so I think the more Hulks the better. I hope we get her back. I hope Tatiana Maslany can strike up some sort of agreement with Disney, but at the end of the day, if she's standing on her kind of political beliefs, who am I to say put those aside? Like, you got to stick up for what you believe in, and I'm in full support of that. But I hope we get She-Hulk back at some point. Next up is Werewolf by Night.